Hey guys, what's up? Dylan here with another episode of How to Climb Out of Gold for my League of Legends series. I'm playing Lee Sin this game. I've got my Electrocute build out, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, Relentless Hunter, Triumph, Alacrity, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and then Armor. So, before I get into the game, I'm just gonna tell you what I've kind of done before this game. So, I started off my morning with having a nice breakfast, going to the gym, and then getting a coffee, which are kind of my three favorite things of the day: eating, exercising, and then drinking coffee. And I think that's a really good kind of habit, whatever you enjoy. So whether it's, eating, reading a book, or whatever, before you kind of get into a real big grind session on League of Legends, it's a really good way to kind of set your mentality up so you tilt less, you feel better in your games, you're kind of more ready for the game, and you're also less likely to tilt and kind of rage at your teammates. But you're also probably going to play better because you're going to be more kind of mentally aware, you're going to be understanding a little bit more about the game, and you're going to be less in autopilot because you're going to be in more of a good mood and therefore more engaged in the game. So that's my little tip for today. Maybe I'll keep doing one tip a video, because if you've seen my kind of YouTube, it's not my YouTube channel, this is my YouTube channel. If you see my Instagram channel or my Facebook, that's kind of what I really promote there. I do a lot of memes, but also a lot of educational content for players like you. So let's get into this game. Good timing there with the load screen. We've got an Orianna top versus a Kennen top, so that's definitely an interesting one. Kennen's gone airy there, so not too sure how that's going to pan out, but interested to see that nonetheless. I think in terms of that matchup, I really think Kennen actually wins that one, purely because of Klepto, and then you kind of outscale the Orianna a little bit. But I mean, Orianna's quite good in team fights, and I am going to be able to kick the Kennen. I am going to be able to kick the Kennen out of team fights, so I do actually kind of like that Orianna. I'm probably going to change my mind there, and the Orianna is going to be really good for us. Obviously, during laning phase, I think, it's a pretty even one. They're both got pretty similar range. I might put my eggs on Orianna there, though, because I just think she's got a bit more utility than the Kennen. Kennen's quite one-dimensional with how he engages. I always call Kennen a she, but it's a he. Another fact there for you guys if you didn't know. But I actually like Orianna there. In terms of my matchup, I don't really want to get in a 1v1 with Xin Zhao just because his sustained fight is a lot better than mine. So really don't want to get in that kind of position here, early game at least. Maybe with my kick, and if I get kind of brush priority, I can surprise him. But because of his ult as well, it's a little bit difficult. I'm going to actually ping that I'm on my way here as well. And I'm going for this cheesy level 2 gank. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the whole goal of it is if Lux can hit her Q, which she did, so we get the flash, which is pretty good. Not a bad start there. So that lane is now in a much better position for them. Obviously, we want first blood there, but we only actually hit Leona with Lux's Q. So I really recommend that gank to players who are playing early game champs, that level 2 is quite good. So first champions that come to mind are such as a Cho'Gath, a Vi, Jarvan, all those champions that have a really good kind of gap closer when they get their level 2. Those are kind of the champions I recommend doing that kind of gank or cheese gank style off. The sad thing is that Xin Zhao did an early gank mid lane and actually burnt Orianna's summoner there. Oh, why did I think Orianna was top? Oh, they must have role switched. So the Renekton's actually top and the Orianna's mid, which actually makes a lot more sense for my team at least. And the reason I went to Krugs after that, instead of say going to my Raptors or my Wolves and then blue buff, is because although Krugs, their first clear doesn't give you that much XP, they are actually the most XP efficient camp in the game. So that's why I kind of went for that. I don't know if we can actually do that. I'm not going to be able to help him out there. I'm really not going to be able to help that Renekton out much when he's on that kind of health. And I'm just going to walk over here. And I might look for a little wraparound here on Annie. Obviously, Xin Zhao's there. But I'm going to be able to counter gank this if Xin Zhao does end up going in. So, really nice play by us there. Obviously, my flash was a bit of an int. But I was kind of thinking that Annie might not have her summoner spells given that Ori kind of got her so low. Obviously, a bad assumption by me. And it could cost me... There we go, so nice little kill there. We get Caitlyn and Lux with the assist. I'll just put Clap in for the boys, just so they know. We're all in a good mood. So really good start by my Lee Sin. This is kind of what you want to do as a Lee Sin. You want to kind of pick 2 lanes. Obviously, I was looking for top lane as well, because I really didn't want that Kennen getting too far ahead of this Renekton, because that becomes a really tough matchup. But what you do is you kind of pick 2 lanes, or, you know, you can go for 3, but I like to go for 2 lanes and prioritize ganks over them, and just kind of really try and get them ahead. And the thing with that is, instead of, say, just camping 1 lane, because Lee Sin's quite a gank-heavy champion, you can usually get away with focusing 2 lanes, and then if, you know, one's actually not a very good, you know, player, or they're just having an off game, at least you haven't put all your resources into helping that lane, only to find out, you know, they just get outscaled by their lane. So really happy with how this early game's going at the moment. My CS is pretty much on par with Zinni Zhao. Obviously his name isn't that, but I like to add the Y at the end. And I've gotten actually 2 more ganks off than him, but I've also burnt a lot more summoner spells than him, and I do have an XP lead. So really nice play by me so far. I was just posturing. That's a rough one. That is definitely a rough one. Who gets the kill on that one? Yeah, Annie gets the kill there. And I lose my red buff, which is a little bit annoying. Lux is rotating here, so we may be able to get the red buff here, but I think Xin steals it before she gets there. Ah, dang. That's annoying. That's kind of the price you pay. I really shouldn't have gone for anything there. Oh, you didn't end up getting it, so that's nice. Say TY to Lux there. Oh, really good there that Renekton got the kill. Because I was actually not considering his lane to be a winning lane there. So really good there. Really bad play by me there. I really should have just left the Orianna there. Because it was a 3-1. Obviously she was baiting it. But we really just didn't have the damage to make that 3 versus 2 work out. And in hindsight, definitely the wrong decision. Obviously, I delayed my engage as well, which I don't think helped. But I highly doubt we're going to win that no matter what we really did there. So a little bit annoying. but we're going to move on from it. The good thing is, bot lane's now winning. They've got a 20 CS lead. Renekton is winning his lane as well. Obviously down in CS, but not too much, which is a good sign. And then mid lane, obviously not winning, but not doing too bad. At least up in CS, although down a kill. And then myself, obviously, I've ganked, you know, the same amount, or gotten the same amount of kill participation as the Xin Zhao now. So my early game kind of dropped off a bit, but I'm still quite happy with how it's gone so far. And just with that one mistake, it's not the end of the world. So Xin Zhao has shown that he's bot. So instead of trying to match that, because I'm never going to get there in time, I'm going to go for a sneaky little... a little bit unlucky there. I probably could have smited Tibbers in hindsight. I wish Orianna actually shielded me a little bit there, but that's alright. It was a greedy kill. It was a greedy kind of kill there. I completely forgot that Tibbers kind of gets hyperactive and kind of charges you in those situations after you get the kill. So a little bit annoyed there, but it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to keep playing through. Going to look, you know, in the next 30 seconds to a minute after Krugs to try and get a gank off bot lane, but they may actually be resetting, so that won't be on. I'll just go for my Krugs, Raptors, and then maybe look for Mountain Drag, depending on if we see Xin Zhao topside. The bad thing about my kick as well is I didn't even get the Kennen ult off, which is a little bit annoying. But I was kind of playing better to be safe than sorry, and I was so focused on trying to not die from the Tibbers that it ended up just not working out for us at all. At least I got the 1-for-1, I guess. So just gonna look here, just make sure there's no vision that we haven't cleared yet. Xin Zhao's top side, so immediately I drop everything I'm doing and I go to Dragon. One, because my bot lane... One, because my bot lane's still pushed up, so that's fine. Two, because I assume Annie has backed now. There we go, so just getting Annie off that. So there we go, so... Dragon isn't the priority there. It's trying to get those kills, and we should be able to clean up here. So notice how I immediately stopped Dragon. As soon as Annie got within kind of ult range of me, I immediately dropped Dragon and focused on her. Because if I continued to kill the Dragon, we definitely would have lost that fight. Ori was kind of already low. Caitlyn had backed, and really it was a 3 versus 3, and we needed to kind of get as much damage off as possible. So while I didn't get the Dragon, at least we kind of made a play for while Renekton was kind of getting ganked top, and we were able to, you know, get a semi-decent result out of it. I am going to go for the Dragon again now. But it's probably not going to work out there. A little bit annoyed that this Annie keeps coming down bot side. Nice little TP there by. And so we're going to have to give that. Not going to go for that. Because we're definitely not going to be able to get that one. So just going to let that one go. We lose Mountain, but obviously the engage there wasn't ideal for us. So I backed out. I've kind of learnt my lesson. These guys have really good burst damage at the moment. So I am going to go for the Rift Herald. So hopefully I can get that because we just saw Xin Zhao go bot side. And then hopefully he's actually going to go for a full clear. And by the time he goes for that full clear, I'm going to be able to get the Rift. So obviously when you're hitting the Rift, you just want to be able to make it as easy as possible to hit those little, his eye when it opens up. Or is it a she? Is Rift a she? I don't know. Shelly, I guess. Maybe it is a woman. I think it is. So I will respect her by calling her by the right pronoun. Because it is 2019 and we need to do that. So Xin Zhao has shown that he's bot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look to place this. I was going to look to place it topside, but given Kennen's just about to ward that, not really going to be able to do that. Oh, we didn't even get the turret. So at least we got Annie top there, which meant that bot lane was actually able to get first turret there. So definitely not the best play by me, and I've kind of done a lot of risky play this game, hoping that they'd kind of pull off. While that one didn't work out, I don't think Renekton kind of just had the damage that was required to get the kill there. There we go. So I just wanted to make sure that Kennen wasn't able to, you know, get too much damage off of me. That's why I kind of kited back and then went for the re-engage there, just so I wouldn't get killed there for, you know, a pointless kind of death. So I'm going to group with my team here, even though I'm low. Not going to go in there, obviously. I think we back here. It's probably the safest call. And so I'm trying to adapt my playstyle. So early game I was playing super aggressive, as you noticed, and it wasn't really working out for me. So while I'm still playing aggressive, you know, that Rift Herald was aggressive. Some of my ganks have been quite aggressive, like looking for that engaged Tribush. I've now kind of pulled back from, okay, instead of just going, you know, full Rambo, I'll go aggressive, but then pull back on my playstyle if kind of the fight isn't working out. And obviously, my team is suffering for that a bit, like that Renekton there. Kind of died because I couldn't actually engage, or I didn't want to engage because I thought we'd lose it. But in the end, it actually worked out for us macro-wise. Although in that micro fight itself, it didn't work out. You know, over the next minute, we ended up actually getting the turret, getting a double kill here with Renekton's TP, and then getting mid turret and almost getting tier 2. So I would go and help that, but I know that turret's not actually going to go down. So while I got the ping for assistance, I know that they're not actually... Okay, never mind. They are going to get that turret. I thought Caitlyn and Renekton would get there quick enough, and I also forgot that they actually have a mountain drag. Oh, she almost got that. So yeah, I think Lux is dead there. Unless she has flash. Yeah, I wouldn't have used flash in that situation either. She probably wouldn't have got it. So I think they're trying to do a death brush on me or something. I'm not too sure. So, awesome little play there. Orianna actually stuffed up my bloody ult. My kick was going to be phenomenal there. But, she actually ended up getting the better of me. So, a little bit annoyed there. But we still play that really well. So gonna ping my team now because we can't actually siege that. There's no chance that we can siege at 18 minutes without even a mountain drag. So just gonna go for the kind of free objective here. And that is the dragon. Obviously bot lane is actually a nice objective as well, but this one actually is a lot safer for us because we're all sitting on quite a little nice cash stack and we really don't want to be fighting with that because theoretically, if we're all on 1500 gold and we fight again, we're actually down almost, 5k gold in items in that team fight. So that's something that's really good to know is like, while you can keep going for fight after fight without backing, the more you do that, the more likely the enemy is actually going to either be even with actual gold, as in items translated from gold, than you because you're all sitting on, 1.5k, 2k. And if you're 5 of you are sitting on, 2k, you're actually down 10k gold for that fight. So even if you have a 10k gold lead, that fight is actually going to be even on items. And given the game was only, 18 minutes in at that stage, they would have actually been theoretically up in gold for that fight, as they would have been able to buy more items. So that was kind of a weird way of explaining that, but basically it is don't fight or don't continue to fight after you've won one fight. Try and get an objective that will now be uncontested because they're all off the map, because you don't actually have as much of an advantage as you think. So nice little tip there. Good way to think of it, and it's a really good way to stop yourself being greedy for kills or greedy to constantly fight after fight in a row. Now, I'm just going to ping them back because I do not want them engaging at the moment. They want to group, but, I mean, grouping mid really isn't the play for us at the moment, so I'm not too sure why they're going for that group. I am going to look for a little play around here. There we go. So get the nice little kill. I'm rotating. There we go. Really well played by my team there. Perfect collapse. Well played by Leona there. So, I was kind of BMing there, but I also am conscious now that I'm Lee Sin, I'm 9-3. I really don't need as many kills as, say, my teammates do. So, I'm just going to use the kick there just so I don't get out. I know that my team is going to still be able to get the kill there, regardless of if I use my kick to push him back in or to not push him back in. Because I knew Xin Zhao didn't have summoners there, so we were just going to run him down. But I was also aware that he could actually one-shot me there, given I was on that kind of low health. And again, I think we back here. I'm sitting on 3k gold. I'm sure they're sitting on something similar. We don't want to fight. Be restraint. That's something that's really important, as I've said. While you can kind of play constantly aggressive, especially on a champion such as Lee Sin, you really want to kind of set the tempo or reset the tempo every time you kind of make a hyper play. Otherwise, you get into this mindset of, okay, like, I'm on fire right now. I'm just going to keep doing these crazy, hyper kicks, super, questionable engages, and eventually you kind of become more riskier and riskier because you develop kind of an unhealthy risk appetite, especially on champions like Lee Sin, where when you're playing well, he feels super good to play. Now I'm going to use that to get to Annie there quicker, and then I am just going to let old mate die there. There we go. So, played that really well. I didn't actually want to fight Leona necessarily there, but I did want to get closer to that Vayne. Now, we've kind of got a choice here. I actually think we should group, while I actually would prefer Dragon, because we've already got Caitlyn Renekton in the lane, and we've got a nice big wave. There we go. Just going to get to Caitlyn in time. There we go. Ooh, my kick was small brain there. But that's okay. I'm now legendary. Renekton's a monster as well. Even though he's only 2-2. He's literally tanking their entire team. I don't know if Baron's the right call here. I mean, it could be. I guess because my team's all collapsing as well. Xin Zhao's up, but I think we may be able to get this uncontested. So again, this is kind of a semi-risky play here, but we've got really good vision, so if it kind of does go to shit where they get a lot of vision of us, at least. So I was just making sure I didn't get stunned by Leona there. Although, you know, obviously she probably wasn't going to be able to steal it. I didn't have exact vision of Xin. I knew kind of he didn't have flash. Actually, I wasn't sure if he had flash or not. So I was really respecting Leona's CC there, because although I could have got hit by the CC, ooh, well played by Ori there. Just gonna clear this. So I know Lee Sin's Qs quite well. So I kind of have the really good range indicators, but if you're not confident with your kicks on Lee Sin, please take it off Smartcast or put it on, I don't know what the correct terminology is, but the one where you can kind of get the indicator beforehand when you hold down the spell, just so you can get a really good understanding of this Q, because when you miss Qs, it's quite frustrating and really limits kind of Lee Sin's ability to engage, and instead you usually have to use your W or your flash to kind of engage, which definitely isn't what you want to be doing. So although I'm 12-3, I am conscious that this game still could kind of go out of our favor. So I am kind of building, and now a little bit more defensively, obviously, with the GA and then the Fist, just so kind of Annie cannot kind of one-shot me, and neither can the rest of their team. Because while, you know, Annie's actually 6-7, and Vayne does outscale Caitlyn, so while Caitlyn's, you know, 6-1 at the moment, we still need to watch out. There we go. Well played by Renekton there. I am going to look to help Caitlyn here if she does get in trouble, because obviously she's going for that engage there. Oh, not the engage, sorry, just... So I've got GA there, so... Oh, Vayne! She's on fire! I thought Lux was going to help me out a little bit more there, but kind of right for her not to. At least we got 2 inhibs and a little bit of a greedy play there. It shouldn't make a difference between whether we win or lose this game, but really not well played by us. And as I kind of said, you know, a minute before that disaster happened, Vayne is actually coming online now and will outscale Caitlyn. As you could see in that fight, Caitlyn kind of got absolutely dumpstered by the Vayne, and Vayne barely lost any health. And that little fight there just shows that this Vayne's actually quite a good player, so we are going to have to be very cautious now as we slowly start to get outscaled. And when you are kind of getting outscaled in a scenario like this, obviously it's dependent on how big your lead is. We've got quite a big lead, you know, we've got 2 inhibs. But when you get outscaled, you need to really focus on grouping and going for objectives as a team rather than, you know, letting the game go for too much longer while you guys just sit around and wait for the Vayne to become a monster like this. So we'll just go for the mid inhib here. Obviously, Kate Renekton can get that on their own. I'm going to ping that we should go top, because I don't know. Okay, we might actually be able to get the end. So I'll rotate just in case. I don't think if I rotated there, we would have actually been able to get the kill. I should have actually stayed top and gone for that. And at least gotten the turret there just to make that kind of fight a little bit easier, or that end of the game a little bit easier. That's a really questionable TP there. I'm not too sure if I'm going to actually play around it. I think I might have to, because there's nothing really else on the map at the moment. So I might play around this TP, obviously not overcommitting. So, quick little kill there. We really need to start respecting this, this Vayne. Hopefully, if Lux can get a nice little catch, we can really kind of one-shot her. And again, I mean, as I said, that Ori TP was questionable. We had no kind of support for her, so while she kind of tunnel visioned and, you know, the objective in her head was the right choice, in reality, it was never really going to work out there because we didn't have enough pressure for her to kind of get that top turret for free, and what ended up happening was her dying, kind of for getting nothing, really. Now, the good thing is I outsmite Xin, but if they do collapse on us, we do need to be quite cautious. Damn it. So at least I got the kill on... Annie there. I was kind of hoping at least one of my teammates would get out because I kind of dragged 3 up, but obviously they all ended up dying in the end. And it's funny because, as I said earlier, we really need to be worried about the outscale there. And in hindsight, we probably should have completely disengaged from Baron itself after I kind of got the kick on Xin Zhao out of the Baron, so he really couldn't steal that. What I should have probably done is just helped out my team here, which all kind of died over here, instead of tunnel visioning on the Baron, kicking Xin out, and then trying to escape through up here. I'm now full build as well, so this game really comes into now, I guess, my Renekton and Caitlyn's hands. As I'm now, you know, not useless, but I just become less and less strong, while this Xin, although his build is interesting with a capital INT, he is going to slowly start catching up to me naturally because I have nothing to go. What I should have actually done just then is Actually bought an elixir. I guess we all group for this. And hope for the best. Now, I don't actually want to take those. I want Caitlyn taking them. So, Lux... There we go. So, get that without even having a kick. We're going to have to stay separate here. Hopefully we can kill Vayne here. There we go. There we go. Really well played by my team. Really well played by my team. We were able to get the end there, which is perfect because, as I said, Lee Sin really drops off. And if that game probably had gone for 5 to 10 minutes longer, we probably would have lost that one. So, as you can see, I'm not actually the best Lee Sin, player mechanically. I don't know really my Q timings. I miss out. I don't optimize my energy and stuff. But when you focus on what that champion's strengths is, so I focused really hard on my early game and then using my ult as a CC tool for engage more so than a tool to execute, you can actually make yourself a lot better of a player on that champion when you understand what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and then how best you can kind of abuse those and understand, okay, well, I might miss a Q here, miss my W here, and, stuff up an ult here. If I get the fundamentals of basic concepts in the game right, I am probably not going to do too bad on this champion. So I'm going to give it to Renekton because he probably had the toughest lane there, but he kind of stayed relevant that whole game. And as you could see, Kennen really didn't get many ults off. Obviously, I used my ult to make sure Kennen disengaged a lot, which was really good for our team. But, I end up getting a 16-5, 17 score. Caitlyn was 11-3, and we just kind of dumpstered them. I'm probably going to be pretty happy with my damage. Yep. Definitely out-damaged my jungler, out-rolled him. So really good game overall there, and really good game on how to play an early game champion, and then consciously remind yourself to, okay, how do we transition into late game? What do we have to be careful of? And how quickly can we end this game as soon as possible? Because we are getting outscaled. So if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'd really appreciate it. It helps you stay up to date with all my latest releases, and I am going to start putting out some more educational content on YouTube. Although this is educational, it's a bit more, fun as well. So please do that. Cheers, good luck on the Rift, and I hope to see you guys next episode.